Ladies and gentlemen of the Action Army, what is going on? And welcome to another episode of Answers for Athletes. In today's video, we have a question from Kebab Rocker, who says, do I need to be fresh every time that I do a dunk session? For example, is it bad to do a dunk session the day after a squat session or the day after a game? Will it hinder my game performance a lot if I do a jump session in the morning and play a game in the evening, or a jump session in the morning and a squat session in the evening? I have a great answer for you. Before I give you that answer, make sure that you comment JUMP, J-U-M-P, down below in the comment section for a free bodyweight vertical jump training program, and leave your question down below if you want me to answer your question in a video just like this. So to answer your question, Kebab Rocker, I would be fresh, or at least 90 to 100% fresh, 90% of the way fresh, every single time that you do a dunk session. I have found the best results with my athletes when we do dunk sessions fresh, and we jump until we don't feel fresh anymore. So I use the drop-off principle when it comes to jump sessions, and I say jump and jump and jump. And I don't recommend any, most of the time. Sometimes I do, but most of the time I do not recommend any specific number of jumps, number of max jumps. If we're doing some load management, sure, I'll do that. In some of my programs, I do that. We work our way up to a specific number of max jumps. But for most athletes that I coach online, I'll say jump and do your jump sessions until you feel a drop off in performance. So you're jumping, you're warming up, you keep warming up. Now you're getting higher and higher and higher. All right, now you're at your max jumps. Okay, you're jumping and you're jumping. You're getting higher and higher and higher. Okay, now you keep jumping and you start touching the same. You go for a new PR, you get it. You go for another new PR, you miss it. You miss it again. You miss it a third time. You miss it a fourth time. It's time to wrap it up, right? When you start feeling like your jumps aren't as high anymore, we normally wrap it up. So I do normally like my athletes to do jump sessions fresh. And this is just because in order to force change in the body, to stimulate the organism in a way that forces adaptation, we have to be progressive overloading and doing things that our body hasn't seen before. So if you're going in there fatigued, sure, you're going to be getting some reps of jumping. Your neuromuscular system is going to be firing. You're going to be firing that pattern. Jumping is a skill, but you're probably not going to be forcing adaptation in a way that your body needs in order to change. Now, to answer your next question, is it bad to do a dunk session the day after a squat session? Not necessarily. A lot of athletes see some great jumps the day after a squat session. So you've heard of the post-activation potentiation principle. So this is where, you do a certain exercise and then your neuromuscular system, your central nervous system, your muscular system is quote unquote potentiated, and you see higher jumps from that. This can happen, 5 to 7 minutes after you do that exercise, post-activation potentiation. But for myself, I always felt it like when I do my men's leagues, I haven't played in a while, but when I used to play in my men's league games, I would do a workout at LA Fitness, a leg workout, and then I would drive to my men's league game, probably 10 minutes down the road, and then we would warm up, and by the time we played, it was probably 30 minutes after, but I was bouncing, right? I didn't feel that bouncy in the workout, but I felt really bouncy in the game. So post-activation potentiation, it's kind of tricky. You kind of got to play with it for yourself and see when you feel the most bouncy. But a lot of pro dunkers feel really bouncy the day after a squat session. So if you do a squat session the day before and then you jump the next day and you feel really fatigued, well, then for you, that's probably not the best thing to do. But if you feel really bouncy, then try it. The day after a game, you might feel a little bit more beat up than a squat session, depending on the squat session, but you could probably still do it the day after a game, especially if you're trying to, consolidate your workload into a couple days. NBA players, sometimes they lift after a game, sometimes a day after a game, and then they allow for some recovery until the next game. Will it hinder my game performance a lot if I do a jump session in the morning and play a game in the evening? It's another one of those things, like, you got to play with it. My guess is that if you did a jump session in the morning, for me, if I did a max jump session in the morning and I played in my game in the evening, absolutely no way am I going to feel bouncy in my game. There's no way. Maybe, I don't know, you might be younger than me. You might be fresh. If you do a jump session that's not up to max intensity, maybe. But for me, there's no way I could do a max jump session in the morning and then feel bouncy for my game in the evening. Or what about a jump session in the morning and a squat session in the evening? For me, look, my whole answer is, like, it depends on you. You got to try stuff out and you got to figure out what works for you. When I used to do bodybuilding, we would have practice, my coach and I, practice peak weeks, right? So I would go, and then, like, 2 months out from the show, we would try to peak and make me look my best. That didn't work that well. Oh, that worked really well. Then a month out, we try to peak. We try to mimic the peak weeks, right? So that we know what's going to happen in my peak week before I get on the stage. Same thing happens. You got to see what works best for your body. But a jump session in the morning and a squat session in the evening, for me, I think I would be okay with my muscular system, but I think my tendons might be feeling it. I think my central nervous system would probably be okay, but for me, I think my tendons, just with my history of patellar tendinopathy and quadricep tendinopathy, I would probably be feeling it. But to answer your main question, yes, I would be most of the way fresh before every single jump session. Like this video if you like it. Subscribe to the channel. We post every single day at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And get our programs, bro. We have every single program that you need to take your athleticism to the next level. We got Beyond the Rim 1, 2, and 3, Beyond the Rim Strong and Bouncy, Beyond the Rim Project Plyo, Beyond the Rim Vertical Jump Secret System. We got the Indestructible Knees program if you got knee pain. We got upper body athlete programs. We got everything that you need to take your athleticism to the next level. But I'll see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace.